Dear students, welcome to the third video. In this video, we continue talking about the properties of human language. Last time, in the previous videos, I talked about the main properties of a human language, and I started with reflexivity, then I moved to displacement, and after that I talked about arbitrariness. Today we are going to talk about a fourth property. This property is called productivity. Now, what does property mean? What does productivity mean? Productivity means a property, as it is given in the definition here, of language that allows users to create new expressions, also called creativity or open-endedness. Open-endedness. So, productivity, it is also, let me explain this. First of all, it is also called creativity or open-endedness. Right. Now let's come to the content, the meaning of this property. It says a property of language that allows users to create new expressions. New expressions. So human beings, because of this property of their language, they can create what? New expressions. Animals do not have this capacity or this ability of creating what? New expressions. Now, the question raised here is, why do we need productivity? Why do we need new expressions? We need new expressions because every day we face new situations. We face new objects. These new situations, these new objects, they need what? They need to be given names. They need words to describe these what things, or to talk about what that situation. What do? We as human beings, what do? We manipulate our linguistic source, or resource. We manipulate it. We manipulate it means معالجة المعالجة. يعني what does it mean معالجة? Manipulation means either we create new expressions or we put new expressions together to create what? New words. Right. Now, you see, before the we created words because we face new things. Now, suppose, for example, they created a product. And the product, for example, it is called nylon, for example. Now, earlier, before the creation, before scientists created this material, there was no word nylon. Okay, there was no nylon. But when they created this material, they want to give it a name. So they sit, the people who made this product, and also people interested in or specialized in language, they sat together and then they gave it what? Gave it a name. What is this name? The name nylon. So the word nylon was not found before; it was created. Okay, so the creation of this word, which is nylon, means what? We have produced a new word. We have created what? A new word. Right. And so on. We have this word Xerox, for example. Zero. Earlier, this word was not existed, but when they created what a photocopier, they gave it a name. For example, Xerox. So the word Xerox, for example, or Xerox, either we use it with the photocopier or we use it when we want to photocopy. We say Xerox it means photocopy. So now this is also a new word. This is a new word. Okay, so when we have a new object, when we have a new situations, we need to describe these what situations, we need to describe these objects. How do we describe them? We describe them by using words, giving them names in order to what? When I mention the word nylon, what comes to your mind? Okay, that material, for example, that material which is elastic, etc., etc. Now, this is one way of manipulating what? Human resources, by means of which man can create what? New words. Another way of manipulating what? Manipulating human resources is by not creating a new word, no, but put words together. Put words what? Together in order to create what? A new word. Take, for example, now this is, we have text, a very simple example. We have in English, we have this word text, and then we have what? We have what? We have book. So each one has a meaning. It has a meaning. This also what? Has a meaning. Now, one of the other ways by which we create new words, we produce a new word, we create a new word, is by not creating a new words like this situation, no, but by putting these two words together in order to give you a new word. So text and book are put together like this, T-E-X-T, B-O-O-K. Now we have created what? A new word. What is this word? Textbook. So we have text, we have book, and we have what? Textbook. So that textbook is the result of combining what? These two words. This is, later on I will talk about it in a process by which words, sentences create new words. We call it compounding. Later on when we talk about word formation processes. Okay. Now let's come to animal communication. Now, can animals do these two things, these two processes? What is it? Creating a new words, like we have created nylon, or the word Xerox. Can they do this? Okay. Another thing, do they have, for example, they have signals. Animals have signals. This is one signal. This is another signal. Can animals combine these, let's say, these signals in order to produce a new signals as human beings do? This is the question, and I am going to answer what? This question. First of all, let me give you what? An example on this, where animals cannot what? Create new words. Here in George Yule sets an example. What is this example? The example is about bees, okay, bees, honeybees. These bees, they took a hive, scientists took a hive of bees, and then they come to a tower, borage, okay. What did they do? They put what? Nectar source, nectar at the top of a tower. They took what? 10 bees to the top of the tower. They made these bees taste what? Taste this nectar source, which is at the top of what? Of the tower. And then they set them off. They released what? These bees. So they went back where? To the hive. In order they began to dance in order to tell them about what? About what? The location of the nectar source. Bees do not have the capacity or to dance, or they cannot dance, they cannot communicate to create what? A new dance by which, or by means of which, they tell them that there is, for example, a nectar source at the top of what? At the top of what? Of the tower. They couldn't. They do not have. Bees have only the capacity to find out nectar source when they fly horizontally. They cannot They cannot find a dance. They cannot tell their colleagues that there is a nectar source which is at a high place, like for example a tower. They couldn't. So what happened now? These 10 bees, they went back to the hive, and the other bees followed these 10 hives. These 10 bees couldn't find the nectar source. Why? Because they cannot communicate that there is a nectar source at a vertical level. They do not have this. They couldn't create a dance to tell their colleagues that there is a nectar source at the top of a tower. Okay, so bees fail to communicate a nectar source at the top or vertically. But human beings, when they created a new, when there was a new product like this, they were able to create names for this. So this is one example of the failure of of animals to create new words like this. Now, it seems to be, that animals, monkeys, bees, dogs, other creatures, they have a limited number of signals, and each signal is used at a certain situation. Each signal is used in that situation. Okay, so what do we call this? We call it fixed reference. So animal communication have their signals have fixed reference. يعني إشارة دلالة محددة. يعني this signal is used in this signal. This signal is used in this signal, in this situation. Sorry, I repeat myself. This signal is used in this situation. That signal is used in the third signal is used in the third situation. They have limited situation, and at the same time, they have a limited limited signals. Now, let's come to the situation where animals fail to create a new word, as bees fail to create a new word or a new dance, or to communicate with their colleagues that there is a nectar source at the top of a tower. Now let's come. Can animals combine signals as signals to create a new signal by means of combination of signals? Their signals. They have, for example, 6 signals. Can they? From these signals, they can combine one or two signals to create a new signal, so that instead of they have 6 signals, they are going to have 7. Can they do this? As human beings can do, like this. We have text, and then we have book, and then we have textbook. Now the experiment, the example given by George Yole, as you can see it here, that he says there is the vervet monkeys. Now, he says in the vervet monkeys repertoire, there is one danger signal, chatter. There is one, a type of monkeys called vervet monkeys. Right. They have what? One danger what signal. What is it? Chatter. Which is used, هذا chatter, it is used, so the situation, as we said, fixed reference. And هذا chatter, fixed reference, it is used in that situation. Now this chatter is used when they see what? A snake. When there is a snake around, they start uttering what? They start uttering this signal, chatter. Okay, right. Suppose, for example, at the same time they saw a snake, and at the same time they saw an eagle. Okay, they saw an eagle. Now, when they saw the eagle, they also produce what? Another signal that is what? Prop. That is a prop. So we have chatter, and we have chatter. So we have chatter, C-H-U-T-T-E-R. Sorry, chatter, capital letter, C-H-U-T-T-E-R. هذه one signal. هذه one signal. When they see what? When they see a snake. So that monkey, when it sees a snake, it starts chattering like this. There is right. Another signal. What is it? It is rap. Double R, and A, U, and P. This is when there is what? Here there is what? A snake. This is what? When they see an eagle, okay? When they see an eagle, they produce what? Rap. The question is, suppose, for example, now this monkey saw a flying snake. Suppose, for example, this monkey sees a flying snake. Can this monkey put the chatter and the rap together in order to talk about this new creature, which is a flying snake? They cannot. But when we come to human beings, they definitely can create what we call this word, which is what? Flying snake. So what do human beings, when human beings see a snake, a flying snake, they certainly use this. See, flying snake. How did they manipulated their linguistic source? Flying, one word, snake, another word. Flying snake is another word, but what is the difference? This is a compound word, combining words to create what? A new word and to describe a new situation. Animals, monkeys for example, this vervet, they have chatter separately, and they have rap also separately, but they cannot combine what? These two signals what? To create chatter rap at the same time, like what animals say, flying snake. This is because of what? Because they lack what we call productivity. Right. Now, the fifth property, as you can see in front of you, is called cultural transmission. Transmit, transfer, and move. Cultural transmission. What does it mean? It means the process whereby knowledge of language is passed from, move from one generation to the next. What does this mean? يعني التحول الثقافي. Literal translation of this property. Now, the point here is that now, first of all, there is a question, a very good question here. What is it? Is that we inherit because of the genes of our fathers and mothers. We inherit physical features from them. We inherit diseases from them. There is a special type of diseases is called, or are called, a special type of diseases. These diseases are called inherited diseases. We inherit these from what? From our parents, from our fathers and our mothers. Okay, right. Now these diseases move or transfer from our parents to us, and we, on our side, we also move it or transfer them to our what? To our children. So we inherit these things. We inherit, for example, the complexion. We inherit the color of the eyes. We inherit other things. But do we also inherit language from our parents? Of course not. So we do not inherit language from our parents. How do you prove this? How do we verify this? We verify it through this example. Suppose, for example, a child or an infant is born to Korean parents. Two Korean parents, a father and mother, brought up, or the mother gave birth to what? To an infant. Now this infant is Korean. When you see it from the eyes, from the face, from the complexion, you understand that this is Korean. Now let's take this Korean infant to America, or it was adopted by English-speaking parents who live in America. Now this Korean infant will have physical features of a Korean, but he is going to speak what? English. What does that mean? This means that infant, Korean infant, did not inherit Korean language from from his parents. So this is what we mean by cultural transmission. We acquire language in the society in which we live. Now, this is members of that society. What language do they speak? The infant or the baby is going to acquire that language. Okay. Now, this is one example. Another example to prove that we do not inherit language from our parents, or language is not genetic. It means we do not. It does not move to us in the genes from our parents. Now, suppose for example, an Arab infant was taken to a place where there is no language. Yes, his parents are Arab, but he was put in a room and he was not exposed to Arabic. He is going to have no language. Why? Because he does not inherit what language from his parents. When he is born with no language. He has to be exposed to the society. He has to be to language. He has to mix with members of that society, so that he is going to acquire the language of that society, because he's without language. Now let's come to what about animal communication? Do animals also, when they are born with no communication system? This is the question. No, they are born, they inherit, and unlike human language, they inherit. Animal communication system is inherited, is genetic. It moves from the parents to the infant, like this. okay, like to the baby. It moves. So now, any animal which is born for the first time, when it is born, it is born with what? With signal. These, we call them instinctive, فطرية. Not like human language. Human language is not instinctive. Right. Now, but here, there is something, very important point. Now, say for example, we have a nightingale or a sparrow or a bird. Now that bird is born, when it is still small, it has signals. It has signals. It produces signals. It twitters, it sings, right? But here you see there's a very important point. What is it? That bird has to be exposed, has to hear or to listen to to signals or to songs from its colleagues. It means it has to hear also how other birds of the same species, how they sing, and it has to listen to them. When we put that bird, when we prevent that bird from listening to songs from other, or sings from other members of its species, it is going to produce instinctive signals, but these instinctive signals are not going to be the right signals. You feel that they are strange songs which are not very clear. Why? Because he was not exposed. It was not exposed to songs from other from members of its species. So it's very important here. What is here? There is a common point concerning human language and animal communication. What is this common point? The common point is that we as a human being, we have to be exposed to the language, and animals also, they have to be exposed to things or to signals from other members of its species in order to give the right signals. Otherwise, their signals are going to be strange. Okay? So the point with which I close down is that animals, when they are born with instinctive signals. They inherit them. Though these instinctive signals have to be they are not left like this. They have to listen to other members of its species in order to make these songs, or its songs, or its how it sings, just like any other members of its species. So if it is left without being exposed for, say, 7 weeks, as he says in the book, they are going, yes, they will have signals, because they are instinctive. But human beings, when they go through the same situation, I mean, they are not exposed to language at all, they are not going to have language. So this means that our language is not instinctive, and unlike animals whose communication system is instinctive. Thank you very much, and I hope this is clear.